Hi, this is Maha,
And this is Kushal.
and we're here to discuss why we made this YouTube channel.
For those of you who decided to watch, thank you so much for your support.
So basically, around a few months ago, I told Kushal that I have this idea that we should make a YouTube channel with like someone Pakistani and someone Indian, and just like portray like the type of like problems like we face together with each other in like a humorous way. We like convey that message, and then
Humorous and serious, like both
and
ways.
serious, yeah. And that was like the purpose of the channel. But as I know, and you soon will, Kushal is a very lazy person. Who put up this idea for months, and then I pressured him to make this channel with me, and then he did.
But since then, he's been completely dedicated
Yeah.
and more than
And,
passionate about this.
Yeah, so in the beginning we wanted to try out the humorous angle to this channel and channel that.
Just things that desi people
Funny stuff.
find funny or
Just like
relate to.
relatable stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
And now we're thinking of adding some like more of like a serious conversation.
We've always wanted to do that.
That's part of why we made the channel. So
Yeah, so I mean, I'll say my reason for like joining this little passion project, as you phrased it. Before meeting Maha, like I didn't know too much about Pakistan or even Pakistani people. Like,
even though he has like Pakistani friends,
oh yeah.
like his roommate was Pakistani American, and he still didn't know much about Pakistan.
Oh yeah, and it's just that I never thought about it until I met you. It's in like there's so many similarities. Like I think before on when we first had conversations and stuff, I like found myself trying to explain stuff like, hey, have you ever had biryani? And she was like, of course, like
LOL.
Obviously it makes sense, like, but that didn't click to me. Like I didn't know biryani and like other foods were so common in Pakistan as well as India.
And also, when I met Kushal for the first time, he told me he was fluent in Hindi, and
That is
he
irrelevant.
He wasn't.
That's irrelevant. It doesn't even make sense. Why? Okay.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just
So he also with the interaction with me learned a lot of like Urdu and like polished his Hindi, and
That's one more thing. I didn't realize Urdu and Hindi are basically the same. Really, they really are
like,
pretty much the same.
with like some
in
differences.
that, I mean, in most
Yeah, but like
words.
conversationally, it's like very much the same.
It's exactly the same. But the scripts are so vastly different. Like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna read it.
Also,
Urdu
like
at
one
all.
more thing, like which led me to this idea was the fact that I took like a Hindi Urdu class at UCLA, which is like one of the only like universities like which actually offers
Really?
a Hindi Urdu class. Yeah, I've told you this. Stop acting.
I didn't know
really.
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like like the fact that they were like people of Indian descent learning Urdu and learning about Pakistani culture, and then they were people of Pakistani descent learning Hindi, how to write Hindi, and learning about like the Indian like aspect and understanding like the similarities and the differences, like not only in script
Oh yeah.
but like in culture. Like yeah, though we both dress like in similar manners, but there's still like some differences. Obviously come like throughout the years, like 72 years of independence now.
Of course.
So that
And,
there's
like,
like
just area,
differences,
right?
yeah, and then their area religion comes like into play here.
That's a big difference. Another thing on that, like I didn't realize there were any Hindu people in Pakistan. Like I didn't know that
so
at
I
all.
just told him they were like I think they're like around 7-8 million like Hindu people, especially
And
like
that's a
mostly
lot.
in
That's,
Sindh.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but
Like he knew like a lot of like Bollywood people like have like Pakistani roots like and stuff, but like he didn't know like they were like in Sindh and like Peshawar, like the Khans, like a lot of them come from like the Peshawar area, and like Sonam Kapoor and her family, they come from.
I didn't know that at all. I
like,
didn't
Sindh.
expect that.
Yeah, so like
didn't know.
that's like where their like ancestors were born and stuff. So like everything's like interconnected, and yeah. Like though
Interconnected.
it is important to like highlight this that there are like serious differences, and I feel like most of them are obviously created by politicians, and I feel like Pakistan.
But are those? Would you say those differences are like innate to people, or just like?
I think it's.
Not as superficial, but like put on by politics.
I think it's mostly to do with politics.
Like it's not innate to people. I don't think there's like innate differences. Like culture,
but
values are very
it's
similar.
become innate to, like in some people, it's like embedded from like hateful rhetoric like spewed by politicians.
Oh, yeah.
And just to get so that the politicians can further their own agenda, do politics based on separatism and like secular like division between communities, especially in India, because it's so much more diverse than Pakistan is, like in terms of religion, like culture and stuff, and obviously because it's so much bigger. And like also in Pakistan, like there's been a rise in like extremism in the sense of like also politics. Like extremist parties are coming to rise. And like I feel like that's a similar case in India. Like extremist parties are coming to rise
religious
there.
Groups that are really like very strongly idealistic to the point where they don't want to include other religions in their politics in their country, stuff like that.
So like I feel like Pakistan's been lucky in the sense that extremist ideology has not reached the highest ranks yet. Like in the sense of like the office of the Prime Minister. Years. Yeah, but I feel like in India, like
has it in the past?
Not that I can think of, but yeah, we had like kind of like dictatorship in the sense, a lot of like military intervention in our politics, which has hindered the way like our government runs. Because whenever it is like military like intervention, it always comes from a more aggressive like side than like a more cooperative side. I don't think India has had that much military intervention.
I wouldn't say military.
But I feel like India has its own problems in the sense that a lot of like the higher ranked people are like creating like sectarian like divides.
Yeah, I
in
feel
the
like
country.
There's a lot of parties that don't really show religious inclusion.
Yeah.
And which is a founding principle of India, I believe. I think that a very big distinction was the fact that hey, we're going to be very religiously open.
Yeah.
One thing that really shows how dramatic or major this type of thought process and this politics can do is really affect how people think in the countries. It's ingrained, this type of belief. I've seen kids who are maybe teenagers on Facebook comment on either news posts, all these hateful things on both sides of the
Yeah,
world,
on
right?
both sides, yeah.
And these are young kids who haven't experienced the other side or don't know anything, have never met anyone who's Pakistani, never met anyone who's Indian, seeing all these hateful things. How do you even
I feel like
get to the point where you think that way?
Most of them don't know. They know they have to hate the other side.
Yeah.
But they don't know why.
Yeah,
they really
and
like the other
that's
side.
the worst.
Especially the civilian population.
Mhm.
I understand. I hate a lot of politicians. But does that mean I hate the entire country they rule? No.
Or the people in that country.
Yeah,
you
because
shouldn't
because not all of their policies aren't effective. All of the thinking of the population.
A lot of people don't know these policies and the political, policy or opinions that are shown by both countries. Not many people believe in that, or in a sense, don't really care about that because they have other problems to worry about, right? So it's scary to see all these young people so actively spreading hate.
I feel like it's all I would blame the media for this.
Oh, that's one big
Because
thing.
media on both the sides is very
Media
aggressive.
really wants to have this story where we're in a constant war, or there's always conflict to be had. Even the smallest thing is worthy of a war threat.
Okay, I haven't seen this in the Pakistani media, but I feel like I can make this statement based on the fact that I have watched a lot of Indian news channels and stuff, and I do follow Hindustan Times, the Times of India, and I think there's another one called NDTV. So I've seen a lot of their a lot of the way they present information, and I won't use Arnab Goswami as an example, but I feel it's also important because a lot of because India also has the most amount of channels in the world, but I would say a lot of them present news more like a Star Plus drama and
yeah, there's a lot of yelling. For those of you who don't know Arnab Goswami is, I think
you're
Times Now?
doing well in life.
He's a news reporter. He has his own
Crazy.
channel, but he's really energetic in
In a bad sense.
uncontrollable
In a
way.
really
He's
bad
yelling
sense.
at the people he calls in for interviews.
No.
You are making personal attacks
you are
on them
saying- But right
because
now-
you are
but
unable. Because you are unable to
No.
respond to their points.
No,
you
no,
are
no.
making personal
You-
points on them.
no,
You will
no,
not
no.
respond in this frivolous
Not
manner.
person.
Yeah, take off the
Today-
mic and leave this.
Just like basically
If
insulting
I was
them.
him, I'd be yelling at her for like
Giving
giving
any
comment,
opinion
any
which is like
opinion.
contrary to his beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like I feel like as a person in the media in both the countries, like the first and foremost thing is you have to be like objective and like freedom of speech. And that's like the kind of like foundations of like
yeah.
the media, right? And I feel like both the countries are lacking in this. Due to both the countries being developing countries, the media has a lot of stress and pressure from like these like big political parties, which kind of like want them to only like further their own personal agenda, and not show any negative sides. But like the media still is like, brave enough to show like some sides, though it still doesn't do that. I feel like as openly as it should, like as transparency.
It's trying.
It's
It's
trying,
hard.
which is good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but I just feel like the media in both the countries would play, because media is like so important these days. I feel like it would play like
Media is
more of an
everything. Like it controls the story.
yeah, I think I wish it played a more responsible role, because it's shaping like the new generation, and like especially with like the prevailing times like right now where like we're at a brink of war, and like both
This whole
sides
year has been very like what's called brinksmanship or something, like when you're really at the edge of
at
war.
the edge, yeah.
And I don't think the media has helped much.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like riling up people, like which I mean.
And I feel like the most important thing in this is that to focus, like to help the other people, like other sides, like civilian or audience understand that not everybody wants war, not everybody's warmongering.
Bad. Like there's more similarities between our people than our differences. Really, like we have the I believe I have like the lucky opportunity where I'm in a different country where I get to interact with people from the other side, not only in Pakistan but other countries as well, right? And where you get to see that we aren't so different. We're all like the same people. We have the same food, cultures. A lot of our cities look exactly the same. Something that was surprising for me, like looking at pictures or videos of other cities in Pakistan. They're very similar to cities in like India. Like Mumbai is very similar to Karachi. Like the streets look identical. Like we here like have an opportunity to be part of that global community, to move past the rhetoric and the hate that has been like spread through our countries for so many years.
72 years.
For what reason? Like we fought for independence together, and now we're fighting against each other.
I hope we all are able to realize that we are more similar than we are different.
Exactly.
But keeping this in mind, I hope one day comes a day when both sides, like, where better sense prevails amongst both the sides.
So that's like a big reason why we started this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I think our main focus is trying to educate mostly, and like really
That an Indian and a Pakistani can be friends.
we know how to fight.
We can work together. It's normal to fight. We
Yeah.
fight too, and like I fight with my other Indian friends too.
But the fights aren't based on how strongly different we are. It's based on normal things that people fight about. And we don't always, like, our people don't always how to fight or be on the other side,
Yeah. And I feel like we share the same values, and it is important for us to remind ourselves that time to time. And
I really hope, that our message gets to, people.
and helps to
And-
normalize like at least the relationships between Pakistanis and Indians on a personal level.
Yeah.
And I feel like that in turn would help to like once you,
Slowly break away.
once you like understand that the other side is human too, they're just like you, they get hurt, they have feelings, they're sensitive too. Like that like puts a human face to the other side.
And all in all, we're basically neighbors. And more than just neighbors.
And we need to realize that.
Yeah.
And I hope our channel like helps to like deliver this message that it is possible to be friends.
So I hope you guys keep watching our videos, and
If there's anything like you would want us to like make a video on, any topic or any like funny skit or something, or any suggestions or ideas, we're open to that. Like comment those.
comment below.
So comment below,
Hit the
And-
bell icon.
and do that too.
I don't know what the
And
bell icon is.
I think it tells you when the next video is like there. Comment and share, so we're
Please
able
share,
to
get
better
the word
like,
out,
Yeah, get our
and
word
then
out.
subscribe down below, the red
That's
button.
important. Thanks.
Somewhere, red button there.
Keep watching.
Paagal ho kya?
Yeah.
Peace!